guys and gals, Buffalo here. Welcome back to the range. I've got a short video for you guys today. I wanted to show you my new trigger pull scale. But before I get the new one out and show it to you, I'm going to show you the old one here. This is my Lyman trigger pull gauge, and it has been a very good trigger pull gauge for me over the years. I've had this thing for over a decade. I started posting firearms videos to this channel over 11 years ago, and I had this digital scale before that. So I've had it for a long time. It's been a good little scale. Very simple to use. It does one thing, and that's test trigger pulls. Just turn it on by hitting the ready button. It'll give you pull number 1, hit ready again, and it'll give you the peak. If I pull on this little arm, it'll give me the peak amount that I pulled on that arm. We've got it set for pounds and ounces there. 7 pounds, 5.5 ounces. If I pull more, it'll show me the peak pull. All you're interested in a trigger pull check is that peak pull. So, very good little trigger scale. I think I paid about 70 bucks for it, 65, 70 bucks for it, like I say, a decade ago, and it's been a good one. But I do have one issue with it. It has a 12-pound maximum pull, and even the new generation of the Lyman digital trigger pull scale like this, it's made a little different, but it still has that 12-pound max pull. So you're limited when it comes to your double action stuff, your double action revolvers. You're not going to have, well, in most cases, you're not going to have a rifle or a single action handgun pull more than 12 pounds, but a lot of your double action revolvers do. So if I try to pull a trigger that's 13 pounds with this scale, it's just going to say over limit, and then I have to guess for you guys. Well, I don't like to guess. I do because I had nothing else to go by, but now I do. I've got this new one. Someone was watching one of my videos from this company here, a marketing person or something, this OneTigris, and they sent me an email and said, hey, I noticed that you can't get your trigger pull in some of those double action revolvers. Let me send you one of these scales. So they sent this scale over to the channel, and I want to show it to you guys now. Get it out of the box. You can see, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. It is a Chinese scale. It's made in China, but I suspect this one is too. I don't see anything marking it, but usually if it doesn't say, that's a pretty good indication that it is of Asian origin. I don't know for a fact, I'm just saying. So many of our electronics do come from China. That's just the way it is. Get your little owner's manual. There's a lot of information. This is a different kind of scale than this one. Let me go ahead and say that. This is a digital force scale. It's a push-pull scale. There's a lot of things you can do with this little scale that you can't do with this one. I use it as a trigger pull scale and to weigh firearms. That's going to be my primary use for this scale. So that's the things that I'm going to show you how to do with it. Again, there's many more things you can do with this little scale, and it comes with a bunch of different attachments. Uses 2 AAA batteries. Does have a little battery indicator when you turn it on. You know right away if you've got a full battery or if you need to change your batteries out. Self-zeroing, but if it doesn't zero out completely, you can hit the 0 button and get it zeroed. Has 4 different units of measurement. Now, I'll always be either using the pounds or the ounces. If it's a really light trigger, I'll use the ounces, but most of the time, I'll be using the pound. You got all these different attachments again. You've got, that's your coupling attachment here, but you've got this little attachment. This, I'm not going to go through all these attachments. I'm not going to bore you with all that stuff. I don't even know what half of them are used for, to be honest with you. But again, you can see this is a pull or push. So I can push, and you can see the arrow here is indicating as to whether I'm pushing or pulling. So a little more sophisticated scale than the Lyman trigger pull scale here. And again, that's OneTigris, if I'm saying that right. But let's put the attachment on that I'll be using the most. You need that little coupler. And here's your pulling arm. Cinch that down. Tighten your nut where you want that. And it's ready to go. Except for I need to set it to peak. As you can see when I pull it right now, it's just giving me my weight. You know, you could weigh your vegetables at the grocery store with that. But I want the peak, just like with the Lyman. So we're going to turn that peak on. You'll see a P right here. Now it's going to give me my peak. So we're ready to pull the trigger with it. I want to tighten this down just a little more. Zero it. And I've got my Smith & Wesson 351C out here. I have got it loaded up with dummy ammunition. I've got no live ammunition down here with me at all today. These are just snap caps. But I wouldn't be able to test this trigger with the Lyman. It would just give me over limit. Let's test it with the OneTigris here. When you're doing a revolver, you want to make sure not to be touching the cylinder, because that will change your pull weight. Got 13.5 pounds on that pull. Let's do another one. See if it's 13.3. So pretty consistent. Do one more since I've got it out down here. And they do claim plus or minus 1% accuracy with this scale. Again, peaked out at 13.5 pounds. So nice consistent trigger pull with the little 351C. But I think when I done the video on this, I guessed about 14 pounds, and I was pretty close. But that's really all I wanted to show you with it. I will be using this from now on, especially with the double action revolver videos, so that I can give you guys an accurate weight without guessing. And again, here's this little attachment. I like this one. I mean, you can take this thing, if you wanted to, you could take it fishing with you, weigh your fish. Again, grocery store, you could weigh your vegetables with it, or your fruits, or whatever. But I'm going to be using it to weigh firearms with. If I want to give you guys a weight, and I can turn it off peak now. But if I want to give you guys a weight of a rifle setup I've got going on, I can do that with this little scale. And it'll go supposedly all the way up to 110 pounds. I haven't done that, but supposedly it will. But that's all I've got on this thing. It runs about $70, which is about the same cost as this one. If I were looking at a trigger pull gauge today, I would definitely go with this, just because there's so much more you can do with it. Tensile tests and things like that, push tests, than you can with the little Lyman trigger pull gauge, and there's not that much price difference. But I'll have it linked in the description and the first pinned comment under this video if it's something any of you guys want to check out and look at. As always, if anybody asks you to give up a little of your freedom for the greater good, just remember that freedom is the greater good. But that's all I've got, and I'll talk with you guys again soon.